Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello and welcome
Hi.
to Healthy Aging. What is gut health and why is it important to consider when serving seniors? I'm Sarah. I have my colleague Jenna, as well as Noel and Gulrukhsar, who are on our nutrition services team.
So, September is actually Healthy Aging Month, and we thought, what better time to talk about healthy aging? And today we're going to be talking about gut health for seniors and what we can do to support the seniors we serve in that way. Yep.
So, to start off, we kind of have it's going to seem random, but we have a fun little question to ask everyone who's watching right now. And it is, what is your favorite yogurt flavor?
So, let us know in the chat.
Yes. Comment in the chat. We'll start off. Noel, what's your
I,
favorite yogurt flavor?
I'm kind of boring, but I like plain yogurt the best because I like to add things like fruit and honey and nuts and things like that.
Ooh, I feel like that's not plain. That's really fun because you're like very diverse there.
How about you, Rockstar?
So I also like plain yogurt, but I love berries and mango.
Mm,
You guys tried mango flavored yogurt?
I don't think I have.
I feel like that's a unique one. I don't think they
Yeah.
make that often.
It is. If you can find it, you should definitely try it. Maybe even Greek yogurt. It's
I
nice.
love mango everything, so I feel like I would love it.
There you go.
How about you, Sarah?
So, okay, these ones are kind of odd and maybe a little obscure, but I love banana flavored yogurt. And then I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but there's a coffee flavored yogurt and it's really yummy.
Mm,
That
Ooh.
sounds good.
wow. Yeah.
Jenna, what's yours?
I'm with Noel on the plain. I like the how diverse it is. I can make it sweet with berries, or I can make it savory with like a dip.
Yeah.
Very
Oh, yeah.
versatile.
Oh, I like that. We've got somebody said black cherry.
Ooh, that is an
Mhm.
awesome one.
Oh, somebody else said peach.
Peach.
That's a good one too. Lemon meringue.
Lemon
Ooh,
meringue, getting
Ooh, I do
fancy.
like lemon.
that's
Awesome.
fancy. Thank you, everyone who commented. Our very first question we're going to start off with is, can you start by telling us a little bit about yourselves, Noel and Garuxar, and just your experience in the industry?
Yeah, definitely. So, my name's Noelle Slaughter. I'm a registered dietitian. My background is in clinical nutrition and food service management, and I have experience in both acute care and long term care. I have been with MealSuite for about 2 years as a nutrition services specialist.
And hello, everyone. I am Gulrukhsar Jiwani. I'm also a registered dietitian nutritionist with experience in clinical, corporate, and community dietetics. And currently, I am a nutrition service specialist here at MealSuite.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you.
Yes.
And before we dive into the gut health topic, as we go throughout, we're going to save 5 minutes at the end for a Q&A. So feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat and we'll get to them at the end. So starting off with just the basics, what is gut health and why is it important?
So let's start talking about what the gut actually is. So, the gut is basically your stomach, your intestines, and your colon. So, this is part of our GI tract. This is where we digest food, absorb nutrients, and the body rids itself of waste. So, our gut contains all kinds of microorganisms and bacteria. This is what is known as the gut microbiome. Some of the microorganisms can be harmful to our health, but some can be very beneficial and even necessary for our health. So, research shows that gut health is linked to so many other health systems in the body, including the immune system, mental health, autoimmune diseases. It affects your sleep, your cardiovascular health, endocrine disorders, and obviously gastrointestinal diseases. In fact, some research has shown that up to 70% of our immune cells are present in the gut. So it has a big impact on our immune health. And what we eat has a direct effect on the amount of bacteria and the type of the bacteria that's in the gut. So when we eat foods that promote good gut health, we're helping our body to fight infections and prevent diseases.
Wow.
Wow.
I had no idea. I did not realize that the gut health was like linked to all sorts of other, like your immune
Mm-hmm.
system and everything else. That's crazy.
So important.
And I find too, this particular topic too is just very interesting because like it's I feel like the last couple of years has become very prevalent, and a lot more people are taking an interest into their gut health.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Our next question is, how does aging affect gut health, and what are some issues with aging?
So, as we age, these good gut bacteria can begin to decrease, and immune function with it also tends to decline. So, with this combination, the aging population is more at risk of developing infections and other diseases, just as Noel just mentioned. This is why, as we age, and even from a very young age, it's so important to fuel our bodies with good balance of nutrition, essential nutrients like protein, healthy fats, vitamins, minerals, and particularly fiber rich foods. So, some issues we may encounter in the aging population, our metabolism tends to slow down. Many aging individuals may be prescribed multiple medications, and this, for example, can cause imbalance in bowel function. Some folks may lack the ability to keep physically active. Other issues may include suboptimal dental health that can prevent them from consuming certain foods that may be high in protein, fiber, and other nutrients. And aside from all of this, there can also be other lifestyle factors that can affect your gut, like stress and anxiety, lack of sleep, heartburn, and unfortunately, the list goes on.
Oh, man.
Very interesting. And that leads us to our next question. How can we keep our residents' gut health in an optimal state or improve their gut health through the aging process?
So the good news is that a lot of those factors that we just discussed, which might sound kind of scary, they are modifiable. So let's start with talking about nutrition. So like I mentioned earlier, what we eat does have a direct effect on the bacteria in the gut. So I'm sure that you guys have heard the terms prebiotic and probiotic before, but let's talk about what those two terms really mean. So prebiotics are a form of dietary fiber that's in foods that promotes the growth of the beneficial bacteria in the gut. So your body doesn't actually digest these fibers, and these fibers become a food source for the bacteria that's in the gut. So fiber that you eat also can help regulate your bowel movements by moving food along the GI tract and removing some of that bad bacteria along with it, which can in turn help maintain the integrity of your gut.
That's right, Noel. Along with the prebiotics, as you mentioned, to maintain good gut health, we also need probiotics. These are the good bacteria that are naturally present in our gut and can also be consumed as food to increase these beneficial bacteria within our gut. So, to put it all together, prebiotics are food, the nourishment for the good bacteria, the probiotics. When these probiotics consume the prebiotics, they produce or enhance the functions of vitamins, enzymes, short chain fatty acids, and other nutrients that help our gut to get healthier. They also help to improve our metabolism, help lower inflammation, and just overall support our immune system.
Wow. I had no idea.
That's cool how they
So,
work together, like can't have
Mhm.
one without the other kind of thing. That's cool.
right, it's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. They just go together. What food should we be providing residents to ensure that they are getting these pre and probiotics?
So there's lots of senior-friendly foods that can be provided to ensure that residents are getting a variety of the nutrients that they need to maintain their health. Most importantly, we want to include plenty of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and low-fat dairy products. So when it comes to fruits and vegetables, we want to be sure that we're providing a variety of different colors. The different colors of these plant-based foods indicate that they contain different nutrients and different antioxidants, so they'll all have different benefits for your health. So fiber in the diet can also come from whole grains like oatmeal, brown rice, whole grain breads, and pastas, as well as some plant-based proteins like beans and other legumes. And as Gulrukhsar mentioned earlier, we also want to include the probiotic foods. So yogurt, and this ties into what we were talking about earlier,
Full circle.
yogurt's one of the most common and best sources of probiotics that's easily accessible in the diet. So the great thing about yogurt too is that it is versatile. So like Jenna mentioned, you can include this into smoothies or sweet treats, but you can also include it into savory foods by using it as a substitute for sour cream on tacos, or even mayonnaise in a homemade salad dressing or something like that in tuna. So it does really have a neutral flavor profile that can be incorporated into a lot of different foods. Kefir is also another example of a fermented dairy product that's high in probiotics. And sauerkrauts and other fermented or pickled vegetables will also have these live and active probiotics.
Very cool. I love sauerkraut. I want to put it on everything. So I guess that's good.
I love sauerkraut too.
Oh, I
Yeah.
want to like sauerkraut, like especially at Oktoberfest time. I'm like, yeah, sauerkraut. I feel like it'd go well with the sausage. And then I try it and I'm like, I just can't do it.
It can be pretty sour. Okay, so what if a resident can't tolerate fiber, or they have chewing difficulties that keeps them from eating the whole foods, whole fruits, whole vegetables? What can we do there?
So one point we should make here in terms of tolerance is whenever fiber is increased, it's important to also increase your fluid intake. This will help to move the bowels more smoothly without the risk of constipation, and also help to better tolerate the fiber.
Okay.
Yeah, and if a resident has chewing difficulties, a great option that I would suggest is a smoothie. Like I mentioned earlier, you can add yogurt to a smoothie for a boost of probiotics and protein. And you can include a variety of fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables for that fiber and those other nutrients. Blended soups are another great option. It's very easy to include a variety of vegetables, and you can throw in the beans or whole grains into blended soups also. And that can be a resident favorite that's easy to tolerate. You do want to remember that you want to include the whole fruit or vegetable. So the peel, like an apple peel, for example, if you're blending it. And that will optimize the fiber and the nutrients in the final product. So for example, it's better to use a blender to blend these types of things where you retain the pulp rather than a juicer, which would remove the pulp in the final product. You want to keep that fiber in there.
You know, Noel, another option is to mix in fiber supplement in soft foods like mashed potatoes or applesauce or other savory sauces, or even in gravies. You could also add it to liquid foods, you know, in juices and soups, just to increase the fiber in a different way.
That's a really good idea. I always think of just having to drink it straight out of water. I wouldn't have thought to put it in sauces. You wouldn't even notice. That's very smart.
So Noel, I can take a whole orange and just blend that up and put that in my smoothie.
You can. You would get a big boost of vitamin C and fiber. It might be a little bitter because citrus peels tend to have a little bit of a bitterness, but it is possible.
Yeah, it's just gonna give it a little tang, you know?
Yeah,
There you go.
that's zest. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our audience questions. Did we have any, Sarah?
We do. So the first one's coming in from Santiago. He said, what are some budget-friendly ideas to help incorporate these foods for our residents?
Yeah, I'll take this question. So, a lot of the really fiber rich grains that we've discussed are really budget friendly, and they can be bought in bulk. So, things like oatmeal, brown rice, or dried beans, they're very low cost items that do pack a lot of nutrition. So, those are great to include on a menu. I also want to make sure not to discount frozen fruits and vegetables. So fresh vegetables are obviously great, but frozen fruits and vegetables are frozen at the peak of their ripeness. So they do have a lot of high nutrient content, and they're really easy to work into dishes where you might not even notice that they're frozen, like soups or stir fries, smoothies, things like that. Also, they're available year round, so you don't have to worry about seasonality and maybe things not having as good a flavor because they're off season, or the cost can fluctuate for things that are off season as well. So, when it comes to canned fruits and vegetables, those can also be a great budget friendly option. You just want to be mindful of the sodium content that can be in some canned foods. So when you're looking for vegetables or beans that are canned, you want to choose the lower sodium options or take interventions to rinse some of that liquid off that contains a high amount of sodium.
Those are
Those are
some
great
great
tips.
suggestions.
Yeah.
And actually, we do have another question. Daniel said, you mentioned other lifestyle factors earlier. Can you elaborate on those and what the residents can do to keep the gut healthy?
Sure. Physical activity is one. So increasing it by just simply adding a walking routine in the hallways or outside if the weather permits, or doing chair exercises to keep upper body moving if the resident is unable to walk, or just some ways to increase your physical activity or be more physically active. Other lifestyle factors that can help improve gut health are decreasing stress and anxiety.
Mm,
Maybe meet with other residents for conversations or to play card games or just work on jigsaw puzzles. And if your resident likes a bit of me time, then working on word search or a game of solitaire can also help achieve that, that goal. Um, I'd say another aspect may be getting better sleep. So suggest to your resident to perhaps avoid caffeinated beverages at least 6 to 8 hours prior to their bedtime. Also avoid too much liquid before going to bed to prevent them from getting up, frequently at the middle in the middle of the night. A nice warm shower, if that's an option, or a warm glass of milk to relax can also sometimes help. And finally, I want to say encouraging a few minutes of meditation or just a form of relaxation anytime during the day can also help manage stress, anxiety, and sleep.
wow. Those are some awesome suggestions. We actually do have one more question. The question is, what is a permissible sodium content that one should be mindful of? Also, what are options are healthier if one is a vegan? Noel Gulrukhsar, I don't know if either of you have some kind
Yeah,
of
I can take
ideas.
this one.
Yeah.
So, it kind of depends when it comes to sodium, what the conditions are. So, some residents might be on a sodium restricted diet that's provided by their doctor, and they might have really strict levels. But in general, you want to kind of aim for less than 300 grams of sodium per serving. Size. So that's usually a half a cup when it comes to vegetables, but it might vary depending on what you're consuming. But the 300 mark usually, over 300 would be considered a higher sodium food. And then options for vegans, like we discussed, most of these these fiber-rich foods are going to be vegan friendly, like the fruits and vegetables, as well as some of our whole grains, like the brown rice and beans. Those are all great options that are vegan friendly. When it comes to the probiotics, you can still find probiotics in pickled vegetables. Even things like miso is a fermented soybean product that would have probiotics. So anything that's fermented. Some of the dairy-free yogurts, like are made with coconut milk or almond milk, they have added probiotics in them to also mimic the probiotics that would be found in a live dairy culture. So you just want to make sure and read the labels, but some of those vegan options do have the added probiotics as well.
That's great. Those are a lot of awesome suggestions. Thanks, Noel.
I also love kimchi as a
Kimchi.
probiotic.
Yes,
I think most of them have fish sauce, so they're not vegan. There's some vegan ones, but I love it. It's so good.
it is good.
Okay, is that it for questions?
That is for our questions.
Okay,
I,
thank you so much for everybody that gave us a question there. Great
yeah,
questions.
those were some awesome questions. Thank you. And then I think we do have a kind of a resource that we'd like to share with you guys.
Yeah, one of our teammates is going to add this in the comments for us, but our team developed a great handout that we want to share with you guys today, which outlines some of the information and tips that we have discussed, as well as sharing a few of our favorite gut healthy MealSuite recipes that would be great options to serve your senior residents.
Yes, and make sure you guys should take a look because it's really cute. It's a really fun resource. So thank you, everyone. We hope everyone had a great healthy aging month. However, I have a gut feeling that you did. And then that resource is it's in the chat there. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.